Hi, this is Andrea from Abueli, and today we're recording our first video on making task sheets for your home book. Over the last year, we've been doing classes in the Parenting Emporium on making these home books, and we also get questions from clients and from people who've seen us on Instagram on how to divide tasks and tips on making schedules, on setting maybe repair logs. So this is what we'll start with because for a lot of houses, the task sheets are enough. You don't even need the daily schedules. Let's go to Google Drive. So I've made a public folder with all these templates and they're not editable, so you don't accidentally put in your home information in the public sheets, but you can download them and save as your own so that you can edit without anybody else seeing it. So before we start, I have to remind that for houses, the simpler the better. When you add too many things and it takes too long to read, chances are people may not take time to read it. So simpler things normally have better results. So when you click on this, you end up in the task sheets. I've made a printable format for people who prefer to work on paper. For me, working on paper is a lot easier than going straight to the laptop. So you might want to bring this when you have coffee and just doodle and then transfer it to Google Sheets after. So we start with step 1. And the first thing you have to do is know what needs to get done in your house. So walk through, figure out what's on the ground floor, what's on the second floor. Don't forget to put in the bathrooms and the hallways and the landings because these are areas where people get confused and it might cause fights between people who have lost their boundaries. Don't forget the basement, the outdoors, service areas. We've seen a lot of service areas that have never been cleaned because no one's assigned to it and it normally gets pushed back. So it's very important because all the roaches and mice could be living there. So it's good to keep it clean. And admin is very important and normally it's overlooked. It takes a while to organize a pantry or maybe make a menu, receiving packages and reporting, organizing, monitoring storage areas. These things can take time, and if there's no time set for them, they may not get done or not get done well. Specialized items, you have cooking, laundry, ironing, pet care, stickers, renewals, and this part, the errands. A lot of times people don't take into account that when staff are sent out on errands, their work is interrupted and they lose time, especially in traffic. And this time is supposed to be dedicated to finishing their tasks. So be aware of this and just expect a restart time when they're interrupted in the middle of doing something. Okay, once you have all the tasks down, you move to step 2, which is put the point person in. So here I've invented names. Let's go over the instructions. So next to the task, type the name of the person assigned. Now, the point person is very important. If you have 2 people cleaning your master's bedroom and something is not done properly, maybe they forgot to vacuum the pillows or you found trash under the bed, something like that, you'd have to call 2 or 3 people who are cleaning the master's bedroom and tell them all off. And, chances are they'll point and then they'll fight. And then, it's things like these that lead to arguments between staff. So if you have a point person, she's responsible to check before they leave. And if you need anything corrected, like, you want your pillows vacuumed twice a week instead of once a week, you tell one person and it's her responsibility to tell her assistants. So that's number 2. And if you have staff members that alternate, type 2 tasks and put the days in. But remember, if there's an OC person on Monday and a not so OC person on Tuesday, then chances are Wednesday the OC person will have to kind of do the work of the Tuesday not so OC person. So this can also cause arguments between staff. So just be aware. But it is doable. You can put someone in as an assistant or reliever when they're out on vacation or days off. It gets confusing when you put different people in every ender, like Jane here, Charisse here, Sarah here, and then you have a more complicated list. So it's easy to just say, you know, when Sarah's out, Charisse does her work. When Lenny's out, Jane does her work. And there. So for pool maintenance, for example, you have the pool guy who maybe comes in once a week. Don't forget that there are also daily tasks, like taking the leaves out, and there needs to be somebody who will do this. If not, you'll have a pile of leaves in your pool by the time the pool guy comes back around. So from step 2 to step 3, what we've done here is just sorted. So there is an example of how to do it here, but let me show you. We go to the bottom, highlight everything, data, sort range, and yes, we do have header rows, so sort it according to the point person. I'm not going to sort this because then your step 2 will disappear. Let's go to step 3. So now you have a list for Charisse, you have a list for Jane, and in the final product, we just fix it and make it a little prettier. Here's what I was talking about for the days off and vacations. Just write down who substitutes for each other. It's simpler. It's 4 lines instead of, you know, lots of names in the assistant field. This is the long list. But if you think of it, Sarah only gets 7, 8 lines. You can print that for Sarah. You can print this for Charisse. And you can also make it simpler, which is Charisse now only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things instead of 9 things here. And you can make it even simpler, which is just cooking, dining, kitchen, clean upstairs, clean downstairs, care for the kids, care for the dog, and do the laundry. But if you notice, here I put the garden plus the right side of the house, and the sidewalk and the driveway plus the left side of the house. It's these little areas, like the hallways, that you kind of have to point out so they don't set boundaries. You know, somebody will say, I'm in charge of the stairs, you're in charge of the hallway, and then they start fighting. So the reason for the task list is to avoid arguments on who's responsible for what. For a lot of houses, the task lists are enough. You may not even have to set a daily schedule. You might just want to say at 11 a.m., clean my room because we're all out of the house. And then at 5 p.m., do the turn down. 3 p.m., everyone needs merienda, and here are your tasks. You know, it's a lot easier than giving them 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. This is what you're supposed to do. So that's it. There's the detailed, the simple, and the super simple. The next video is probably going to be the daily schedules, and then you have the weekly and the annual schedules also, which we'll try to do videos on. This was a pretty long video. It's running at about 9 minutes. We'll try to make the next one shorter, but I hope this did help, and we'll see you next time for the rest of the home book. Thank you for listening.